Honestly, I remember the days when I was so reckless with my money. I used to just buy Uber Eats every night. But as I got older, I was like, man, Brandon, you need to do better. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I save about 60% of my income so I can use it towards things like investments, things that I want to do that better my life. So what's up? I'm Brandon Young. If you don't know who I am, I teach you how to make, save, and invest money. So if you're new here, consider subscribing because, man, do I have a lot to offer you. Now, in a world where it seems like saving 60% of your income is nearly impossible, I got a few tips for you to show you how I exactly do it, because when people hear 60%, they feel like, oh man, that's impossible. But really, if you cut back on a few things, you stop buying some stuff, it's pretty simple to do it. Now, the first thing that I did when I realized, okay, Brandon, you gotta save about 60% of your income, is you have to realize how much are you making right now. And once you figure out how much you're making right now, then you can determine, okay, I'm making this amount, but I need to be making this amount, because if I make this amount, then I'll be able to save more. So the number one thing that you need to do is you have to be able to make more money. Now, a lot of people may say, okay, I'm scared to ask for that raise. I'm scared to ask for more money. But at this moment, this very moment, I would say it's the best time to ask for a raise, or the best time to try to make more money. You see, depending on what you do, if you're working a job, if you're self-employed, you should be trying to figure out ways on how you can make more money at all times. I mean, me personally, I'm never content with the amount of money that I make. I'm always trying to figure out new side hustles I can do. Maybe if I'm working a job, I'm trying to figure out, okay, can I get a raise this year, or can I find a way to make more money, or can I get some more hours? So your first thing is you need to figure out how you can actually make more side hustles, if you can make some side income on the side, or if your job can give you some more money, because once you make some more money, then you have more money to play around with. So you have more money that you can save, you got more money that you can invest, and you can save more. Now, number two, once we figure out, okay, how much more money can we make? Can we get that raise? The next thing is we have to figure out how to cut down on these expenses, man. Now, the top 3 expenses that I've seen have to do with transportation, it has to do with food, and it has to do with housing. Once you figure out ways on how to cut these 3 things down, you can save so much money. I'm telling you, man, you could save so much money. Now, depending on your situation, for housing, it's very easy to actually save money on that. I see a lot of people, they'll work in a certain location, but they travel maybe an hour and 10 minutes back and forth to work, which is like literally unacceptable depending on your situation. If you can figure out a way to move closer to work, where, okay, you're not traveling that far to go to work every single day, I would find a way to do it, because traveling back and forth, depending if you're using a car, if you're using a train, housing and transportation literally almost go together, because, okay, you're spending thousands of dollars on your house, or your apartment, but you're traveling an hour and 10 minutes back and forth to work, which is you losing so much time doing that, where you can spend that time doing something else. So first thing is you want to find a way to move closer to your job, or closer to whatever you're doing. I don't know if you're self-employed or if you have a job, but you want to figure out a way to move closer to your job. Now, once you can move closer to your job, that's going to help you save a lot of money, because one, maybe your rent might go up, but your transportation price will go down. So I see a lot of people, they may spend $600-700 monthly getting back and forth to work. But if you live closer, maybe if you make that commute go from an hour, 10 minutes to maybe 20 minutes, it's way better, because you're saving so much more money. You may be paying the same amount of rent, but your transportation, cost is going down. So you can use that money to, invest, to save. All right, so when it comes to food, I have a problem with Uber Eats, Postmates, all these other food apps. And the way to get better at this is to just delete these things off your phone. Trust me, guys, it's going to make a world of difference. I know it's hard, but Uber Eats pretty much ate most of my budget. And when I say, like, usually transportation and housing does the most and it takes most of your money, it was actually food for me. So when you figure out a way to get rid of that, you will see the amount of money that you can save go up drastically. Because one, when we eat out a lot, when we buy Uber Eats and all these things, you don't realize how much that adds up. And if you keep consistently doing this every single day, every single week, that amount of money, it piles up very fast. Because little meals, sometimes if you have friends over, or depending on if you're eating by yourself, you know, Uber Eats charges a hefty price. So before you know it, you're paying $25 to $30 a meal. And, imagine doing that every single day for a month. Like, I can get a bit scary. So what you can honestly do is start to meal prep. Go to the grocery store like once or twice a month. Get everything that you need. Go with a grocery list. Do not just go, all right, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. Go with a grocery list. Have a plan on what you're going to get. Go in, come out with the things on the list. Don't go in there, start picking up random things, because that's another issue that I have. I go in there for one thing, I leave with 10 other things. It's terrible, but you need to go in there with a plan. Go get what you need. Meal prep your stuff for the week, so you have a certain amount of meals for the week. You stick to that, you eat that, you will see your savings skyrocket. Because when you stick to a plan, when you stick to a budget, you will have so much more money to play with. Now, the next one is transportation. Now, as I said before, transportation and housing they go hand in hand, because depending on where you live, it can determine whether you have to use a lot of transportation. Now, if you live 10 minutes from your house, I would highly doubt that you would be having some source of transportation to get to where you are. Because usually, if you have a place that's 5 to 10 minutes away, usually you're going to end up walking, depending on your situation. But if you're living, an hour away from your job, then you pretty much have no choice but to use transportation. But if you're in a situation where, like, say you're in New York City, where things are easily accessible, you can use the train, you can use the bus, maybe there is no need for you to have a car. Because I know, like, I work in New York and I work in Manhattan, and, if I were to have a car and drive it into the city every single day, I know people who do that and they pay a pretty hefty fee. Because one, there's no parking in Manhattan, so you have to pay these parking garages upwards of $600 to $700 every single month just to put your car inside the parking garage, which is crazy. But two, driving in Manhattan is crazy and it's never worth it. So if people are going to work in a place like Manhattan, or depending on where you're working, you want to determine, okay, I have a car, but is it worth it? Do I need to have a car? Because I can easily take a train there. I can take a bus there. Hey, if I work in Manhattan and I'm close by, I can walk there. So these are things that you have to determine on your situation, whether it's right for you to actually have a car, because it can be causing you to pay way more than you need to. And the last thing is actually clothing. So I've saved so much money on clothing. I really stopped following trends. I know when I was younger, I used to be like, man, I need to get this shoe. I need to get this pants. I got to get this shirt. But as you get older, you start to realize it's like, you can look so much better, or you can look the same. You can look very stylish without having to put so much money into your outfit. So now I try to look for more basic, timeless pieces that I can wear whenever I want. It doesn't go based off trend, because sometimes you go ahead, you buy this shirt, and within a couple of months it's out of style. But you can get a basic tee that will never go out of style. Put a simple little jeans jacket on there that won't go out of style, and poof, you got a nice outfit that doesn't break the bank. So you definitely want to watch how much you're spending on your clothing. And once you can get these things down, transportation, food, all these things, then you can save so much more money. Now, once you start doing these things, you start cutting back and trying to figure out ways, all right, how can I get this transportation? How can I get this food down? How can I get this housing down? Can I move somewhere? Can I get a roommate? Once you start thinking of these things in these types of ways, then you can see your costs dramatically going down. But all of these things aren't possible without a budget. So once you do these things, you do want to have a budget so you can determine, okay, where is my money going? Am I spending my money on the right types of things? And once you can do this, man, you can definitely take a lot more money out and save it. You can go and invest it because long term, that's the play. You want to be investing your money. Not to say saving is bad, but hey, if you want to save, that's great, but you want to be able to save and invest your money so your money can grow. All right. Now that is how I save 60% of my income daily. Now, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give this video a like, get this video to 55 likes. I know that we can do it. And subscribe to the channel if you want some more useful information. I will see you in my next video. Peace.